Napansin mo na ba kung paano tayo pumipila sa kantin, sa sakayan o kahit sa concert? Kung sino yung nauna, siya yung unang nasa-servan at kung sino yung huli, siya yung maghihintay. Ganito rin yung concept ng isang data structure sa programming na tinatawag na queue. Ang queue ay sumusunod sa principle na first in, first out o FIFO. Ibig sabihin, kung sino yung unang pumasok, siya rin yung unang lalabas. Sa queue may dalawang main operations, NQ at DQ. NQ, ito yung pagdadagdag ng item sa dulo ng pila at DQ naman, yung pagtatanggal ng item sa unahan. So basically, parang normal lang siya na pila sa real life. May order at may system na sinusunod. And now, ipapakita naman ni Erwin Dacampong ang ilang real-life examples kung saan ginagamit ang queue para mas lalong maintindihan.
Good day everyone. Today I will be discussing a data structure called the queue structure, with its principle known as FIFO or first in first out, and I will give an example of real life scenario that uses a queue structure. Before we continue, let's briefly revisit what a queue is. A queue is a linear data structure where elements are arranged in an order. It follows a specific rule called FIFO, which means first in first out. This means that the first element added to the queue will also be the first one to be removed, just like what we can see in this image. As we can see in the image, the first element in the line, which is the black one, will be the queue, meaning it will be the first one to be removed. Meanwhile, we in queue or add an element at the back. Always remember that in queue, the new elements are always added at the back or rear end. When we add an element to a queue, we call this operation NQ. On the other hand, when we remove an element from a queue, we call this operation dequeue. In a dequeue operation, elements are always removed from the front of the queue. This is a quick demonstration of how queue structure works. First, we will enqueue our first element. And if we want to enqueue again, we will add the element at the back of the line. As demonstrated, the first element that enters the queue is also the first one to leave. This is the FIFO principle, which is commonly used in real-life systems such as printing tasks, switching lines, and process scheduling. And now, we will dequeue an element. And since black A is at the front, it will be the one removed. And now that we're done at the quick demonstration, we will proceed to real-life applications of the queue structure. In this scene, customers are lining up at a counter. This is one of the examples of a queue structures in real life. As each customer arrives, they join the end of the line. This action is called NQ. The customer at the front of the line is served first. Once they are done, they leave the line. This is called the queue. The next customer then moves forward and becomes the new front of the queue. This process continues, where people join at the back and leaves from the front. Because of this, the first person to enter the line is always the first to be served. And this is how queue works in everyday situations like restaurants, banks, and ticket counters. Aside from restaurants, queue are also used in many everyday situations. For example, let's see how a queue works at a bus stop. At a bus stop, people form a line while waiting to ride the bus. This is a real-life example of a queue. As people arrive, they join at the back of the line. This action is called NQ. When the bus arrives, the person at the front of the line gets on first. This is called the queue. After one person enters the bus, the next person moves forward and becomes the new front. This process continues with new passengers joining at the back and others leaving from the front. Because of this, the first person who arrives is always the first to ride the bus. This shows how queues help maintain order in everyday situations. So remember, a queue works using first in, first out. The first one in line is always the first one out. That's how things stay organized and fair. before I end my part, I have some joke to tell related to Q. Some of it is it's not that good, but I will say it anyways. So, alright, let's go. So, here's the first one. In relationships, I thought I was in a queue, but turns out I was never even in line. Okay, so there's another one. So, here we go. I think this one's gonna hurt. So, here we go. Love follows FIFO 2. First in, first out. But somehow, I'm always the one left out. But I got another one. This is probably the last one. Here we go. I tried using Q logic in relationships, but someone kept cutting in line. And that's it, guys. That is all for my part, and thank you all for listening.
Sa Messenger, ginagamit ang FIFO or first in first out para maayos at sunod-sunod ang pag-handle ng message. Kung ano yung una mong sinend, siya yung unang magde-deliver or matatanggap ng pinag-sendan mo. Isa pa example ng system na gumagamit ng FIFO. Ang printer ay gumagamit ng FIFO or first in first out kung saan ang unang documents na ipinasa ay siyang unang ipiprint at siyang unang matatapos.
So, ako nga pala si Cedric Makulangan and I will discuss to you the use of NQ dito sa ating code. So, first is mag-create muna tayo ng empty queue. So, ang code dyan is Q equals open and closed bracket. Next is NQ. It is used to add items dito sa ating code. So, use IQ.append open parenthesis 10 close parenthesis to add 10 at the end of the queue. Q.append open parenthesis 20 close parenthesis to add 20 at the end of the queue. Next is last na to, depende sa kung gaano karami. Q.append open parenthesis 30 to add 30 at the end of the queue. So itong tatlo yung magiging value mo dito sa code mo. And kung gusto mo makita, use print tas Q para may pangalan. At itong variable natin, Q, which is ito. Tas, yun, lalabas siya sa terminal mo yung 10, 20, 30.
Ako nga pala si Cyrus Aliswag. Ito yung command sa pagre-remove. Remove equals q.pop open parenthesis 0 close parenthesis. Ang utos nito is tinatanggal niya ang pinakaunang variable or value na nasa loob ng dataset. So, ang nasa list natin ay 10, 20, 30. Bale yung 10 is yung nasa unahan ng dataset. After nyan, ang proseso nito, kukunin ng ating command yung 10 at mariremove na ito. Ang result naman ay magiging 20 at 30 na lang ang lalabas sa ating terminal.